What's going on, everybody? What a day. Just had to go grab some Wendy's for lunch. Not the best thing to eat, but as you guys know, sometimes you gotta go in the go and you gotta go in the go. And this is the conversation I think I've had this conversation so many times on this channel, and here's another time to have this conversation. Welcome everybody to Jeep Talk episode 70. The long drawn battle between entertainment and education. I wanted to try to give you guys, the definition of entertainment, but you guys know, it was. What I'll do is I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description so that people watching this in the future can get the definition of entertainment, because there's a lot of people who for some reason don't understand that there is a difference between entertainers and educators, and there are some educators who are entertaining, and there are some entertainers that try to educate, or educate to a limit. I think the biggest, one of the biggest, never say the biggest issue of what's going on and what has always gone on in life between different cultures, and just speaking in the black culture, is that people don't know the difference between entertainment and education, and they don't understand why they both clash a lot of the times. Recently, there was just an altercation between like Anton Daniels and Corey Holman. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. The comedian. And there was also a question to see IShowSpeed and Kai Cenat. And what I put together in the scene is that while all of them are entertainers, some of their content on one side is based on an educational thing, and some is based on an entertainment thing. Now, a lot of people will say, "Yo, why?" Oh, shout out to Just Vaughn in the building. A lot of people will say, "Yo, why did you put IShowSpeed under educator?" And I felt as though that's probably the first thing I have to not explain, but I want to go into detail about. While IShowSpeed is fully an entertainer, what he's doing with his content is unilaterally educating people. As you can see, not just that Africa travels around the world, travels, but when he went to Europe, when he went to Latin America, it brought eyes to the actual real life occurrences that happen in these countries, and not the propaganda that has always lasted even before our time. Now, y'all know this whole channel I have here is about giving an inclusive history. And I told people plenty times before, technology is the one thing that's making history more inclusive and is going to cause clash after clash when people finally open their minds to realizing that the world isn't what they wrote in the history books. Not just Africa, because that's just what's going on right now, but as Europe, as Russia, as China, and all these places, as more people start to use technology, and Thailand and Colombia and Brazil, as more people use technology to show people the real in-life IRL world, a lot of myths, a lot of determined notions on the world are going to change. So that's why in this conversation, I put IShowSpeed under the educator. Now, a lot of the stuff people don't agree with, the stuff he does, cool. But it took, let's say, someone who people would say is more of an educator than an entertainer. It took, aside from, I'm leaving myself out of it, it took Watermeyer, who has 1 million subscribers, who's the first black black or African um content creator in the travel niche with over 1 million subscribers, right? It took him 20, I mean, what, 10 years to get to where he's at. It took a lot of the travelers in the United States, as far as, now I'll say myself, as far as like, let's say a Lord, let's say Checking Effect, let's say even like Around Me Travels, which was kind of hard. It took it took us a longer time to show the world in a more inclusive space without getting either demonetized, without getting our channels taken down, without getting put behind a shadow ban or a paywall. So a lot of people who criticize like an IShowSpeed for the way he got to his thing, while it's not who I am and it's something that I don't represent, I'm not going to knock him, because what he's doing right now, like I said, is considered on the education level of showing people the world, because he's allowing and showing people the world not by his actions and what he's doing, but by allowing people from places that didn't have a platform to talk. Now, on the other end, the Kai Cenat and the Corey Holcomb, they are grabbing the attention of millions from 3 back-to-back mafia streams to Corey Holcomb grabbing the attention by his I guess his conversational points that he has on his show. This is, to what I consider him being a comedian, is more of the entertainment niche or the entertainment value of things. Shout out to Keenan Lambert in the building. Shout out to Jay Brass. What up? What up? V Schwell's in the building. Neither one is better than the other. This is what I try to teach. I tell people who do my channel. Neither one is better than the other. But if your optimal goal, and this is where a lot of people mess up, because a lot of people think people have the same optimal goal. If your optimal goal is to change the environment you're in to a better, to reach an environment that we haven't, that's not better, haven't reached already, then going the entertainment route alone has proven over the many years we've been entertainers, as at least black people in the United States, that it does not work for the majority of people. It may work for, hold on a second, y'all. I gotta mute this because I know it's gonna get called after that from the school. All right, hold on a second, y'all. 1 second, give me a second. Let me mute this because. All right, it may work for Too Dirty. What up, man? I used ChatGPT, and I just came up. That's one thing I will talk about. And another thing, ChatGPT to make the thumbnails is really helping me do it because yeah. But it may work to grasp the attention of everybody. But what is the power, or what power is there behind grabbing the attention of everybody if you're just going to lead them down the same path that they came from? And we're just talking about in the United States sense. Lead them down the same path that they came from, or the same path that failed us multiple time after time. Now, the reason why I said I'm talking about the United States is because on a worldwide basis, and we'll revert back to IShowSpeed, it opens the world up to see and to place, regardless of people, the crazy tactics that he does, the quote unquote what people would consider the I don't know if I can say coonery that people would consider he's doing, or the playing to the narrative. That's what I call it. A lot of people call it coonery or all that stuff. I call it, because as a person who's educated, I call it playing to the narrative to get to the spot you want. Now, there are good and bad consequences of playing to the narrative to get to the spot you want. And I'm going to give you guys an example in the travel, since a lot of you guys are watching right now are in the travel niche. I'm going to give you an example of playing to the narrative, or entertainer versus education in the travel niche as well, separately. But when you play to the narrative, Let me give you an example that'll probably help you understand it better. There's a narrative that black people love fried chicken and watermelons. If I go on stream and I have a live where YouTube or Twitch starts to push me out to everybody in the world, right? And I know that people might not want to hear me talk about educational things because it's not going to be as attentive. But I know that a lot of people in the world may see this narrative of me as a black person who eats watermelon and chicken. And then I go on the show and I'm just eating watermelon and chicken and jumping around laughing. The next time I come live, I may have double or triple or 3 times the people I have because I'm playing to the narrative, even though I know in my heart that might not be me. I may not be that person who really fits that narrative with the saggy pants or the do-rag on and the gold chain and the teeth. I might not really be that person. But if I'm willing to play to that narrative as an entertainer, then maybe I will get a chance to reach that ISO speed mark where I can now influence the whole world by just showing them. While they're still looking at, for example, they could be looking at me doing entertaining stuff like jumping on guys or kissing feet or talking like I'm not a smart guy. But subconsciously, it does also educate people because it changes the narrative of what they normally heard in history. Because now they get to see it through video, live stream, which is unedited video. They get to see it through video that, yo, they said that, everybody in let's say in South Africa was living in Hudson. They had like flies on their head, and then you go there and you see Cape Town. Or everybody in Ghana was walking around naked, and you go there and they got the Armani suits on and stuff. So that's why, again, it's a tough game to play the entertainer until you reach that mark. Because when you reach that mark, if you do have something to say educational, people really won't listen to you. They'll see everything around you, but it's going to be difficult for them to want to listen to you because you've proven to the world that you're just willing to to live by the narrative of an entertainer. Now, an educator, on the other hand, if all you do is educate and you don't entertain, most people won't pay attention to you. Because it's not, you're trying to play in an environment that's not correct. If I'm an educator and I can't grasp the attention of people with my life, and my life is not entertaining, then nobody will take the education to mean anything serious. If me personally, as a person in the travel needs, who speaks about financial freedom, who speaks about educating yourself, who speaks about learning the cultures, hablar diferentes idiomas, speaking different languages and stuff. If I didn't have these beautiful women, if I wasn't able to live the lifestyle because I'm spending the money because I have the money from my investments, it would be very difficult for me to imagine a person listening to me as just an educator. This is why you kind of need both sides, but I still lean towards it is more important to be an educator for me in the path that I want to follow, because I understand that as being an entertainer and just a person that people go to be entertained or amused or to get their mind off of life, it only puts us, at least us as black people, in the same predicament we've been in since the start of America. But I still won't knock entertainers, because just because you see something a certain way doesn't mean that it's supposed to be that way. And that's one thing I tell people before. Traveling at 18 brought to my idea the understanding of the world being different versus my world, versus the world I know in the United States. And because I got that education of that, I'm able to see an entertainer like ISO Speed and see the positive of what he's doing. And I'm able to see an educator who who I may not agree with, like Anton Daniels, I may not agree with a lot of stuff he says, but I can able to see an educator, a person who didn't get it from playing the narrative, like let's say like a Kai Cenat or a Corey Holcomb, who used the narrative of being an entertainer to grasp the audience that they grasp. Not saying it's a bad thing, just pointing out different strategies and what each strategy comes with. So I'm able to see the benefit of being an educator, but understanding that you still have to entertain in some manner. But there will always be a clash. There will always be a clash because entertainers will always get a bigger audience. Always. The reason why is not only because of a system that's set up this way, but simply because a person knows that it's easier to find something to laugh at or find something to get you through the day than to fix the problems that you may have that's causing you to go through these problems or lack of peace every day. It is easier for me to turn on the TV and watch The Real Housewives or watch Jocelyn's Beret or watch any of these stuff or watch a travel content creator who shows women. It's easier for me to do, who just shows women over and over again. It's easier for me to do that than to listen to somebody who can educate me, even with entertainment. Somebody who can educate me to have a life, not a better life, but a life that I would more want. So it's always going to be entertainers get more thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important for you as the person viewing to know the difference. It's very important for you to know the difference, because when you forget the difference of an entertainer and an educator, then you start to allow leaders to lead you that have no background of leadership, because they built their whole brand or the majority of their brand on following the narrative that would get them the attention. What's going on, Mollywood Talks? Again, it was simply the Anton thing, and it's just simply the battle of educator versus entertainer. Let me go back because I was missing everybody's comment. Shout out to Terrence Hill in the building. What's going on? Let me see. V Swell says, bruh, my Thai friend got me watermelon and chicken. True story. Yo, again, listen, this, and I don't, as a person who knows, again, travel really allowed me to not just see one side. Like, you'll see a lot of people arguing for the educational side of the Jeep, or you see a lot of people arguing for the entertainment side. But traveling helped me understand all sides at a young age. And the narrative around the world is going to be one way. And it's going to take entertainers and educators to change that narrative, especially about black people. I can only speak as a black person in that aspect. So as a black people, it's going to take entertainers and educators unitely to be able to do it. But there's never going to not be a clash between entertainers and educators, because the base principle is I don't want to say conflicting, but that's the only word I can think of right now. The base principle of an educator and an entertainer conflicts at all aspects. Example, I want to educate people on my channel about using PrEP when you go internationally, because there's 100% chance that you're going to slip up at least once. So I educate people on my channel about using PrEP for just in case, to protect yourself. But then it's not entertaining enough. But if I go and make a channel talking about you can go around and sleep with women raw without using a condom if you just take this pill, and I can just go and just say raw here, raw in Thailand, raw in Brazil, raw here, all because I got this pill, it'll go viral. But it will take away from that person actually educating you. Hey, don't, because you know it can help you, but keep it as a precaution. But that's not going, that mannerism of explaining, it's not going to grab attention. But if you go the other way, yo, I'm about to go knock down a bunch of raw chicks because I just got this prep pill and I ain't got to worry about it no more. The fit in the narrative of sound like an ignorant black person is going to make that video go viral. It's going to make that video, and the people they're going to clip it and be like, oh my God, this is why you shouldn't allow black people in your country. And then that gets pushed and that gets pulled, because you got to remember this. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they won't watch you. Just because entertainment isn't just me making you laugh. Entertainment isn't me just showing you women. Entertainment can be me drawing out your aggression. Kind of like the situation between Anton and Corey. The drawing out aggression can now become so entertaining that the whole world is talking about it. So that's why I say, even as an educator, you have to understand the value of entertainment. But if you're going to try to change the world, or try to change the world for some people, you can never let entertainment outgo over your education, over the educator. Because then we just end up in the same predicament we've been in forever. And, let me see. Corey is a 60-year-old white. Again, even I'm using this moment as a teachable moment to help people understand it. So I don't want to dig too much into that, because a lot of stuff you could say about that interaction between Corey and what's his name, as far as there's a lot of stuff. But I'm using this as a teachable moment that I can show you that, listen, there is a difference, and there always will be. There's never going to be, I rarely say never, but there's never going to be a chance that entertainers and educators don't clash. It's just the way it is. Again, 100,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit about travel, and then we get to the travel niche, and I'll tell you the difference between travel entertainers and the travel niche and educators. There's never going to be a channel. When I had my channel, it was very difficult to go super viral on just education. Because people, if they're not entertained, they won't grasp you. I created the Black Man's Guide to World Travel, where I blended education with entertainment. And it caught on right away. The education I did was I made a guide to show you how to move in and out the country without having any issues. How to show you how the people actually are and allow them to talk, versus history, which is just a one-sided story. But the entertainment aspect of me showing the beautiful women, me telling you how much fun I had doing stuff that we may not have been able to do in the States, it was grabs everybody's attention. But I also gave them the education at the same time. Had I just made a video called The Black Man's Guide to Getting Boxed Overseas. We're going through the woods now, so y'all gotta give me a second, yo. I'm gonna get y'all comments to the non-witted part, because I don't want to miss any of y'all comments. If I dedicated my whole channel to entertainment, I had 50 million views, almost 50 million views right now. I would have 500 million views. If every single video I dropped was, again, but I am not creating content to entertain, even though my life is entertaining. I'm trying to get people out of the position that we have been in for the longest, not just black people, but people of poverty, people who didn't know that there's a world out there, people who thought that everything that was in the history books was correct, because I feel as though I'm an educator. But at the same token, I don't knock entertainers. I don't, because let me break it down for you. The entertainment that people do can trickle down to you being able to get your side her. For example, again, let's take it off of ISO speed. Let's go to Kai Cenat. Mafia-thon, right? But Kai Cenat did Mafia-thon with a bunch of people that weren't very known. And Rakai, before he came over to Kai Cenat, he wasn't very known. All of the Clover Boys, they weren't known. So And they weren't all, I mean, some of them was friends, but all of them weren't best friends. Some of them were just brought up like, girl, he funny guy, Reggie. An entertainer can, if the inside, can introduce you to somebody who educates you to a, well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing when Malcolm X was cool with Sammy Davis Jr. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, I believe, were cool with Muhammad Ali. Entertainers and educators have always been collaborating to make things work. But there will always be a fallout because the basis of what entertainment is and what education does, while it can coexist, one has to be more powerful than the other for whatever person that's taking the information. Powerful in your life, or entertainment has to be more powerful in your life. Now again, neither one is good or bad, or whatever route you choose. It's not. Yo, we way up in the hills, y'all. If you just tuning in, we're about to get right through the hills, and we'll get back to the conversation. And I'm gonna get to y'all comments. This is Jeep Talk episode 70. Entertainment versus education. Educators versus entertainers. Neither side is better than the other side. It's all about knowing the difference and which one works better for your life. Some people aren't as deep into who they are as a person, or as a man, or as a woman, or their culture. And it's not your responsibility to help or teach everybody. So it's not Kai Cenat's responsibility to make sure every Jamaican or every black person can get help because he chose a life of entertainment. It's not IShowSpeed's responsibility, even though his dad understands that, you know, we've been black in the States for a long time. It's not IShowSpeed's responsibility to then go out and tell everybody, listen, there's a difference between black and African, and we're here and here. That's not his responsibility. People have shown you, I choose the route to go this way. It still doesn't mean that they can't give people or lend people a platform to educate. You know what I mean? Let me get to your comments. Because I think we should be better now. Let me see. Hold a second. Jennifer Kirkman says, teachers don't like classroom clowns. And the reason why teachers don't like, in my opinion, the reason why teachers don't like classroom clowns is because classroom clowns, and I was somewhat of a classroom clown when I was in high school, in elementary school, we garner the attention of the students more. That's a lot of reasons why teachers will really immediately go after and go to the parents of the students or the kids or the teenagers that are classroom clowns more than the kids who may just be disruptive. Because the classroom clown garners attention from the rest of the students. And when you take the attention away from the rest of the students, what you end up with is a bunch of students who aren't able to get the education that the teacher's trying to give. But that's not, in that atmosphere, it is wrong for the classroom clown. But in a world atmosphere, you got to realize it's not the world is not a classroom. But in a world atmosphere, whether or not that classroom clown gets your attention is on you. It's not a bad thing, because there's no teacher in the world that's supposed to, like, the teacher in classrooms, they have the authority to be the only one talking. But there's nobody in this world who has the authority to be the only one talking, and everyone else has to subside to them. That's when the individual becomes responsible for what you consume. I said it. What you consume, you become. I said this many times. What you consume, you become. So if I go see IShowSpeed, and I have a choice to watch IShowSpeed or Kai Cenat, or I have a choice to watch Corey Holcomb, and mind you, I'm all for balance. But if I had a choice to watch Corey Holcomb or watch Anton Daniels. Depending on where I want to see my life go, will depend on who I watch. If I want to worry, if I want to grab the attention and be liked by a bunch of people, I'm going to watch Corey Holcomb. I'm going to watch Kai Cenat. If I want to know about the world, or I want to know about how to create finances to better myself, rather than use excuses, I'm going to watch Anton Daniels. And this is why it's a clash, because a lot of people think that you got to choose one or the other. No, you can play right in the middle and just use, like, sometimes I watch a finance podcast with Grant Cardone or Graham Stephan or Minority Mindset, and then sometimes I'm watching the Joe Budden podcast. I don't have to lean to one side or the other, but unfortunately, when people don't understand the difference between entertainment and education, they feel like they got to go one way. I want to go watch The Housewives. I want to go watch what's that network? The Baddies. I want to watch the Baddies network, because they feel like sometimes the education to learn and to change that through education is so hard. I just want to go do that instead. But that's the choice the person makes. There's no ultimate right or wrong. So like when I see like Corey and Anton had this argument, I don't see it as, being bad for the black culture like a lot of people will say, or being bad for I just see it as being a realistic understanding that there will always be a difference between entertainers and educators. And it'll always clash. It's just going to always clash. And depending on where you want to go in life is going to depend on what you watch the most. Shoot, YouTube just came out with for the first time, YouTube just came out with a thing that shows you. And I think this is going to help a lot of people. YouTube just came out with an end of the year thing recap that shows you where you spent most of your time on YouTube. On mine, I was very satisfied where it said self-improvement, real estate, travel, adventure, learning about new cultures. This is all stuff that I want to increase the value of in myself. So when I saw that, I was super. I've spoken to people who say, yo, I can't believe I watched this person this much time at the end of the year recap on YouTube. It showed me that I watched this person who I really don't like, but I watched this person almost more than I watch anything else. And that's because the person that was watching it and it was like, damn, I don't even like this person, but I watch him. He was entertained by his or her character or his or her channel, but it didn't help them with anything they wanted, so they were disappointed. It's all on you, y'all. It's just important, and I'll keep pointing it out. No matter how many times I gotta point it out, I'm gonna get y'all comments. But no matter how many times I point it out, there is a big difference between an entertainer and an educator. Neither one is better, but you got to figure out which one you want to spend more of your time on. Now let's talk about the travel niche, because I'm coming to my house. When we get to my house, I'll get all the comments. Let's talk about the travel niche, entertainer versus educator. A lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, the travel space is dead." The travel space is dead. Another Jeep. What they mean by the travel space is dead is that they are no longer seeing a lot of people who are entertainers. Not people giving you the information on how you can go travel or how to move, but rather entertainers who are keeping the dopamine pumping in their head to the people to make them want to watch. It's not one person. It's not two people. It's the concept of I can make a video showing you how you can maneuver around Brazil and how much it costs and how much you can do this. And as I'm educating you, someone would when they say the people who say the travel niche is dead, they rather see somebody going out and slapping somebody, or going out or going on a live platform or a live stream and completely just disrespecting and talking about other travel creators. That is what they mean by the travel niche is dead. When the people who say the travel niche is dead, they're no longer getting that dopamine because a lot of channels got deleted. A lot of channels got demonetized, and people no longer want to put anything on those channels that are demonetized. A lot of people are not making enough money where they can go places that can get them in trouble, or a lot of people are not. A lot of people are not. Don't have enough free time to go on and talk about other people. So because that's coming up, there are going to be some people who say the travel space are dead because they don't understand that the only travel space they looked at was the entertainment space. They didn't look at the educated space. They only looking at the entertaining space, and for them, that means that the whole space is dead because, and it's not a good or bad thing. That's just what they look. It's like if I turn on TV and I don't see Maury, and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible, and I don't see Jerry Springer, I'm like, oh my God, TV is horrible. Because that gives me that quick dopamine. I want to see somebody do something crazy. I want to see somebody argue. I want to see somebody fight. This is always going to be, it's not a good or bad thing. That's a realistic thing. Realistically, people rather see violence. People rather see arguments. People rather see debates than to see stuff that can actually help themselves become better people in whatever they want to really do. Because it's easier. It's easier to just worry about entertainment than education. It's not a good, it's not a bad thing, but it's easier. It's easier for me to get. I got 15 people watching right now, right? Let me start going on a rant about one of the people in the travel space. Let me swerve my car and hit another car and be like, aha, and leave out. Let me go out and smack that girl right there. And it instantly goes to 100,000 people that's watching the next video. That's just a matter of understanding how far you're willing to go as an entertainer or educator. All right, we pulling up now, so I'm gonna get to y'all comments. We're gonna end the live. Again, when it came to watching what I saw with Corey and Anton, and then realizing and watching what I saw on Kai Cenat with him going through the mental issues right now, and I think if I had to take an estimation, because I don't know Kai Cenat, I believe that Kai Cenat as an entertainer is watching IShowSpeed and realizing that what he was doing, bringing all the celebrities, doing all the stuff, that silly stuff, having wars and doing all the stuff was entertaining. Even running the school thing was entertaining. But what being in the IRL world, it led IShowSpeed to educating people about the real world, which is going to always be more and more evergreen content. Evergreen meaning content that will last forever. This generation of people might be impressed by entertainment. Right now might be the only moment where drama and stuff kicks, where everything gets attention that's entertaining. But in the future, doing IRL, showing people the real world, education is going to always trump entertainment in the long run. You just got to figure out what we're going to do. All right, let me get to your comments and we're going to get out of here. Again, if you've been watching this has been Jeep Talk episode 70, entertainment versus education. Let me see. Did I get everybody's live? Shoot, top messages. I don't like when it does that. My fault. I don't like when it does top messages. I missed so many messages. Let me just shout everybody out so I can make sure I got to you guys. I appreciate you guys on the live and ladies too. Shout out to Just Vine in the building, Jay Brass, Keenan Lambert. Make sure y'all check out Keenan Lambert channel. Make sure y'all check out V Swell channel. Let's see, Molly Wood, what up? Make sure Anton cooked them. Let me see it. Corey 60, all facts. Eric White. The old dudes ain't about no action. No, and in that situation, I mean, it's crazy because I watched I'll watch O'Shea video earlier. I was watching Meteor's tutorials or something like that, and I was watching a couple other ones. And I think the only one that really got the response right without being biased, based on what it would look like when you cutting out parts, was probably Meteor tutorial. Because when he said I don't really watch either Anton or Corey or often, but when he said he felt demasculated because he told him to suck so he told him that he's sucking black people's private parts. I'm like, but the line before that was you was kissing white people's private parts. So by your standards, of this not being an acceptable thing in the community, then why would you then repeat the same standards to somebody, another black man, and then get upset when he does it back to you? So again, I think a lot of people missed that point. And a lot of people missed a lot of the points because they have a bias, because they like either one side or the other guy. So in that situation, I feel as though bias plays a part in what you're hearing in the narrative. But when you have somebody who doesn't really know either one of them, who doesn't really watch either one of them much, like you like, oh wait, I mean, this is obviously a bias. I mean, there was disrespect on both parts, but the host can't disrespect the guest and expect the guest not to disrespect him back. It's unrealistic. Kirby, what up, Kirby? Again, Jennifer Kirkman, appreciate that. He said teachers don't like class clowns. Mollywood says the first thing Anton said was that he was on time. Corey didn't give him a proper introduction. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just seen the clips. I just seen the long form of clips. Travel Simba, sorry, not talking about the subject, but when is Carnival Barranquilla? Carnival Barranquilla, where I'm going to next month, is from the 14th to the 17th of February. However, I always tell people it's always good to be in Barranquilla the Wednesday before Carnival starts, because it gives you at least a day and a half to really contribute, get ultimate, and you're gonna need that day and a half to get acclimated with the area. So I'm going from the 7th to the 15th. I'm not even staying to the 17th because I have another trip coming up when we're going to Cuba in May, and I may have another trip going to either Medellin or Barranquilla or Santa Marta or San Andreas in April when my son goes to Easter vacation. So yeah, again, Barranquilla Carnival is from the 14th to the 17th, I believe, of February. Travel Simba says, I'm in CTG in mid-February. Yeah, no, I think you said you was going to be there from something to the 8th. You're going to be in CTG to the 8th, and I'll be in Barranquilla on the 7th. It's CTG and Barranquilla is kind of close, but Barranquilla, I'm gonna be really chill. I'm gonna do some live videos there, but I'm not gonna again, this is Jeep Talk. I'll give you the end, but we're just gonna answer anybody questions. I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of filming. I'm going to do live video. I'm going to be making shorts. But again, I'm not doing a lot of edited content, so I don't have to go everywhere with the camera. I'll just be kicking it, having fun with the homies and with the ladies there. Let me see. And at the carnival. On the road with Kel. What up? Shout out to On the road with Kel. Just hit 2,500 subscribers. Big up. Make sure to check out his channel. Go F. Black folks always crying about something. Y'all can't use your racism right now. You're going to cry about ICE. I don't know if he is assuming that all black people are the same, but best of luck to him. On the road with Kel. He went my route in Nairobi. Again, I do believe that if not the top creators, as far as by numbers, the top creators, but at least somebody under them are always watching the regular creators who really do it. It's like, a lot of people do it because they want the credit. Some of us do it because we just want to show people a way. And I think a lot of the iShow speeds and the who was the big travelers, all the like the top travelers, they will all say, well, if they're honest, they will all say they caught something from they caught like a glimpse, or they heard something from our channels that taught them to go here or go here or go here. So I wouldn't be surprised on the road with Kel if he may have watched Nairobi videos before he went to Nairobi and saw your video or saw Czech video or saw somebody else video out there. Or the same thing in Uganda if you hadn't sat and saw like somebody else video. And that's just the way it is. They may not give you the credit right away, but odds are they have. Shout out to Where's Milano in the building, y'all. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Is Carnival in Barranquilla like Carnival in Brazil? No. Carnival in Brazil is the biggest carnival I've ever been to. Now, there's not many travelers. I gotta stunt for a little bit. Nah, but there's not many travelers who've been to as many carnivals as I've been to. I've been to Trinidad Carnival. I've been to Barranquilla Carnival. I've been to Caribana in Toronto. I've been to Jamaica Dream Weekend. I've been to Brazil Carnival, and I'm probably missing one. And I've been to New York Labor Day parade. Brazil is the biggest carnival ever, just most glamorous, most stuff everywhere like that. Barranquilla is the second biggest carnival in Latin America. The difference between Brazil Carnival to me and and Barranquilla Carnival is Barranquilla Carnival is more inclusive with the tourists in the sense of I can go and join. Now, yes, you can join certain parts of um of Rio de Janeiro Carnival, but and Samba Drone is not like that. You can't just join Samba Drone. You can't just you can go to the blockos where you walk the streets, but it's not like Barranquilla where you can actually interact. And it's a lot. And Brazil is way more expensive. Put it this way: you make for a Brazil Carnival, I end up, and this is back in 2016, y'all. We in 2026 right now. So 10 years ago, when I went to Brazil Carnival, I spent about $4,000 to $5,000 on this trip, and I was only there a week and a half. I spent about a week and a couple days, week and a day or two, and I spent $4,000 on this trip 10 years ago. Right now, I can't imagine what it's gonna cost you to really do everything that I did, or even do more. Because again, I went to Samba Drone, but I didn't join the Blockos. That'd have been more money. So again, no, Barranquilla Carnival is not like Brazil Carnival in the sense of the grandioso scheme of it. It's not that, but I think if you like to interact with people, you like to be in the midst of stuff rather than just watch, I think you'll enjoy Barranquilla Carnival a little bit better. And you would enjoy Trinidad Carnival the most, except for the fact that it's gonna be a lot more difficult to knock something down in the Trinidad during the Trinidad Carnival. I have to say that. Let me see. I forgot that Barranquilla has a carnival. Yeah. On the road says facts. Yep, big up. Barranquilla, Colombia looks like a vibe. It is. I like it. It's more relaxing. It's not as international as a city as Medellin, but it's way more international than like a Cali. And y'all see how much fun I had in Cali. Yeah. And again, I wish I could show you guys the pre-games. I stopped doing pre-games. Let me tell you why I stopped doing pre-games a little bit. I don't know why I got banned from Tinder. I don't know why I got banned from Tinder. But I have an idea that has something to do with me showing the women as I'm clicking on video. So I no longer I could do it behind the scenes, but I just got back on Tinder. So I don't really want to risk not being able to be on Tinder when I go to Barranquilla. Because when I tell you I want to show y'all some. Maybe I'll put it in a I did put some. I'll put some pictures in the membership of some of the women I've been able to connect with on Tinder, in Barranquilla this year, and man, it get hot, boy, getting hot. So again, it is a vibe, but most importantly, it's inexpensive and you'll get more bang for your. I think, my opinion, you get more bang for your buck in Barranquilla Carnival than Brazil Carnival. But you got to go to Brazil Carnival because it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You'll never see nothing like it ever. Mind you, I've been all these carnivals. You'll never see nothing like Brazil Carnival ever. Anywhere else in the world that I've been. I haven't been to Nottingham Carnival in London yet. But all the other places I've been, you'll never see nothing like Brazil Carnival. It's just over the top. Struggles, what's going on? I appreciate that. Carnival King is crazy. Rich, what up, Rich? What up, Rich Crate? How did I like the Trinidad Carnival? I love Trinidad Carnival. Trinidad Carnival is the most inclusive carnival I've ever been in. Meaning that you can go join the band. It's not too expensive depending on what band you join. You march, you do the fets. You are part of Trinidad Carnival. I didn't see a part of Trinidad Carnival that you couldn't be included in. Now, when it comes to being included in Carnival, not everybody can do it. Because there's a lot of walking. And it's hot. Really hot. But the fets, the Soca Monarchs, the places that you can go, the only thing that I would say a lot of people that travel that are more inclusive would say they don't like is that you're not gonna find any pros during Carnival, and a lot of the women you're gonna have to have some kind of emotion. You're gonna have to have emotion to get to the women. Motion meaning you got to be somebody known, or you got to be in shape, or you got to have style, you got to have money. You're gonna need that. So if you're going in the hopes that you might smash something, now I did smash something, but if you're going in the hopes that you're gonna smash something rather than just enjoying the carnival, I don't know. Don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah, I spent like 4 or 5K in a week, and that wasn't including the flight. I spent like four. No, I spent like 4 or 5K in a week. That might have 5K. I might have been including the flight. 5K would include the flight, definitely 5K. Um, I got you. I did Jamaica Carnival. I don't know if I've ever done Jamaica Carnival, but I did Jamaica's um Dream Weekend, and that's the big that during Independence Week, and that's the biggest thing I think they have in Jamaica. During Independence weekend. Let me see this last carnival, and then let me see what they say. View. Why is Trinidad hard to hit something? I can show that. Trinidad is hard to hit something because you gotta. A lot of people are going to be in shape during Trinidad Carnival. It's going to be expensive too. It's not expensive as Rio, but it's way more expensive than Barranquilla Carnival. It's way more expensive than Caribana in Toronto, Canada. But it's going to be difficult because you got to be at the parties. You got to hope that you came with people that you can that because every woman there is going to be in a group. There's not going to be any solo women really by themselves. The locals, if you're going to go to the local area like I did, it can get dangerous. Especially with Juve, it can get dangerous. But everybody is, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be difficult. I'm telling you as a person who's been all over the world doing. Trinidad Carnival can be difficult to hit something. If I think you're gonna want to have. I always say I'm never going for the women, just women, but I do want to hit something whenever I go for the first time. I want to knock something down. There's probably like 2 or 3 countries where I went and I didn't knock something down that I really wanted. I really wanted to knock something down, and I could have. In Dubai, I could have. I didn't. And the reason why I didn't because I was too nervous about the laws in Dubai. I was too nervous about the laws in Dubai to follow through with hitting the girl that was gonna let me hit. Um, uh, the other place, Panama. I've been to Panama, but I was only there for like 4 hours. And as I got to be able to hit something, I had to leave and catch a flight. So that Panama, Dubai, and Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, I wanted to hit something there, but I was too scared about the loss. But I didn't really have a chance at Abu Dhabi, but I was too scared about the loss. Actually, I did, but she would have been American. But yeah, that was that. So again, it's for me. It's never all about the girls, but I definitely when I go to a new country, I want to knock something down so I can know something local, so I can know the experience of what it's like in totality. Let me see. Flyweight got money, but in Trinidad, don't they like guys like me though? In Trinidad, they like guys in shape. They don't really care. I don't think they care about like the dark skin thing. Maybe some of the more Indian women in Trinidad will want you if you like, but they be looking for somebody in shape. At least like me, I'm in shape in the manner because I'm normally just big, but I'm not like 6 pack like everybody else. So and even I hit something. I hit a brown thing, and she drove to pick me up and took me to her house. So is it possible? Yeah, but it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. Um, Flyboy, you got a fresh body? Nah, I just got my hair right underneath. It's braided up. I mean, I think when I get to we're just kicking it right now. I'm gonna let it go an hour, and then we're gonna end the live. I'm gonna go inside. I just think like when I get to a shout out to Mentuition in the building. I gotta go back and watch the Mentuition video last night with Checking Effect. I watched like about 40 minutes of it, but I never got to the part of Mentuition where they said they got demonetized or why they got demonetized. They said they got a chance to get it back, but I gotta look at that. But make sure y'all check out Mentuition channel and Where's Milano channel. Let me see. Probably can smash something at the Jamaican Carnival. Oh yeah. Yeah. Jamaica. When I went to Jamaica Dream Weekend, dog, it was so much stuff, and it was pros there too. But the pros are more like you gonna have to pay something. But yeah, you could definitely smash something at Jamaica Carnival. Yeah, I definitely had a ball at Jamaica. That's back when I was super risky. Shout out to Kingston Dreams. He's with me there. I got videos. Everything I talk about, y'all, I got videos. But I was super duper risky with the Trinidad Carnival. I mean with the Jamaican Carnival, because I knocked this joint off raw, bruh. And let me tell you how We kicking. We got a couple minutes left. Um, Let me tell you how crazy it was. In Jamaica. In Jamaica, I was just before the Airbnb. I started doing Airbnbs and mostly only Airbnbs. In Jamaica, I I had a joint from Tagged. It was a website. It's still around. Tagged, Tagged. It's still a website. It still works, but it tend to work way better than everything now. But I met a couple off of it. I met this one girl that came. A couple women off of it. I met this one girl that came over, but the hotel I was staying at wouldn't allow her to come in unless I paid $75, and the $75 was only for the day because she was it was all inclusive. And I might make this a story time. I don't know. Later in the future, I might make this a story time. So we were sitting in the hallway, we were sitting in the lobby talking, mind you. It was this is in Montego Bay. There was a big event like Hot 97 at 105.1 with DJ Envy and the Breakfast Club in the beginning was throwing a big event in Montego Bay at this hotel. But there was so many American girls there. I could have smashed 2 American girls, but I didn't because I wanted something from Jamaica. And so I invited the girl over. We sat in the lobby for a little bit, and they said, all right, well, she's going to have to leave or you have to pay. So we started walking. As we walking, I see a bus. And I'm just like, let me go see if I can make out with her behind the bus. So we go to the bus. She started making out. Mind y'all, I don't know where I'm at. We was just walking down the street in the middle of Montego Bay. It was a bus in the middle of a parking lot that you can get behind. And behind there was the mountains. So I went behind the bus, like a tour bus. I don't even know what people on the bus. I started kissing her, making out on her, fingering her. I realized like she didn't have no panties on. She had no underwear on. So I was like, all right, cool. And then, after I touched, I just started going in. Mind you, no rubber, no protection. I wasn't taking a prep before then. So it was risky, but I felt like it was a once in a life opportunity. Luckily, it didn't cause anything, like as far as STDs. Hopefully, it didn't cause anything like pregnancy, and I just didn't know it. But like it was crazy risky, but it was super dope. And mind you, I had just met her, so it wasn't like I did a bunch of game or nothing like that. I guess it was the American aspect a little bit, the United States aspect a little bit. But so we did that, and then I was texting her a couple times, and I was like, yo, make sure you take the pill. I gave her some money to take the pill, and I never heard from her again. And I said, did I? And I never heard from her again. I tried to text her on Tagged, nothing. And the reason why I didn't get to hang out with her again is because the next day we were leaving Montego Bay and going to the Grill. Because in the Grill, that's where the Dream Weekend was. So we went to Montego Bay for the Power 105.1 Breakfast Club party in Montego Bay. But then while that was still going for the weekend, we went to Dream Weekend, and I think it was like an hour or 2 hours from Montego Bay to the Grill. And so I never got linked up with her again because I couldn't just have her come to me in the Grill. And again, this is another reason why I started staying in Airbnbs and I stopped doing hotels and all-inclusive resorts, because I need the freedom. I need the freedom to bring Johns through. Like, it ain't all about the Johns, but damn, I'm a man. I would do the same thing here in my place if I didn't have a place to take them. So yeah, Jamaica, you definitely. All right, we over an hour, y'all. Let me get to the last comments. Again, salute to Mental Wisdom. Make sure you subscribe to their channel. Is Barranquilla more dangerous than Medellin? I don't believe so, but I don't think Medellin is dangerous either. I think the areas that people go to could be dangerous if you move a certain way. If I have a chain on in El Poblado, somebody going to steal it. Do I think somebody would kill me in El Poblado if I had a chain on? Maybe not. But will they steal it? Will they try to rob me? Yeah, maybe. Barranquilla, the same thing. In the north of Barranquilla, I don't see no problem. We walking around all types of night in Barranquilla. We went to and all this is on video. You guys can see this. We went to a concert out in the middle of nowhere in Barranquilla. Way out. If it wasn't in Barranquilla, it was outside of Barranquilla in the middle of nowhere, and it was just 7 or 8 of us guys. Or no, it was probably 10, 11 of us guys. We brought some of us brought some chicks. No, most of us brought some joints. It's all on camera, and we was good. Can you go to South Barranquilla by yourself if you don't speak Spanish? Maybe during the day. I don't know about, and maybe before 12 o'clock. So there could be instances where you put yourself in danger, but overall, nah. If you get a joint, if you get something from the hood, if you get a woman from the barrio, a woman from Soledad, you meet her on and I think some of the best ones, the fun ones are from Soledad. I really wish I could show y'all guys, but I don't want to get banned off of Tinder again, and I don't want what happened once before on this channel where I showed her and I was waiting to hang out with the girl, and then she brought up the pictures of me talking about her or me talking just talking normally about her, and I was like, yeah, I can't do it again. So yeah, so no, it's not. He said I want the Indian Trinidadian woman. The Indian Trinidadian woman, they're nice, they're nice. I had one. I had a couple in the States. I mean, cause yeah, I'm from Jersey. Shout out to 916 in the building. What up? What up? What up? What up? No biz prep. What's prep? Prep is an HIV preventative medication that lowers the chance of you ever catching HIV. Now, mind you, if you consult your doctor and all that stuff, but if you have sex with women and only women, it's going to be harder for a man to catch it than a woman to catch it. And let's say you get we got like a 1.5% chance of this is what I read on, and it was what my doctor was mentioning to me. You got like a 1.5% chance out of like 1,000 to catch HIV if you sleep with a woman with HIV and you're a man. This prep takes it under like point something percentage. So even if you have a condom on, if it pops, could you catch something? Yes. So even if you don't plan on sleeping with women raw and you wear a condom and it pops and then you know what I mean, then having this pill will give you a very chance of not catching it. So I just said I'm not going to be taking it every day because there are people who are in relationships, and I showed them out on a video. There are people who are in relationships with people who have HIV, and the person doesn't have HIV because they take preps every day, and the person who has HIV takes their pills and antivirals every day. So that's how strong prep is, that doctors recommend prep for somebody who's sleeping with somebody consistently who has HIV. So that's why I say, if prep is that strong, if it only costs me $7 because I have insurance, then it makes no sense for me to not take it when I go on these trips, when something may happen. Something crazy may happen. I might do something crazy because I know myself. I protect myself most of the time, but that's why I got prep. Is Tag still live? I haven't checked Pokerist. I have not checked Tag in a minute. Tinder has just been too good, yo. Again, y'all don't understand. I was banned from Tinder since Africa. Y'all know I was in Africa in January last year. I left in January. I've been using Bumble. Now Bumble works in my area over here with women. It works a little bit in the area over here, but Bumble don't really work a lot of other places. I mean, you could use it, but a lot of people not on Bumble. For example, I just got an account on Tinder like a month ago, right? Actually, at the beginning of this month, I got an account on Tinder. I was on Bumble looking for women in Barranquilla for like 5 months prior to this. And I think I met 2 that I could communicate with and I could meet when I'm there. I was on Tinder for 2 weeks. I got like 7 numbers. I got joints that just flooded my joint. Yo, listen, I tried to send a message to Tinder to try to get my other account back. Tinder was like, nope. If you got banned, it was for the right reasons. I still don't even know why I was banned, but we on it right now, so forget. I don't really worry about Tagged. Shout out to Ray Guapo. Shout out to Carlito in the building. He said Ray Family Travels. What up? What up? What up? Sounds like you did a drive-by in Jamaica, man. Shotta, top shotta. Boom, 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 boom. I shot that club up too, bro. Again, it's not like I was reaching out to her trying to make sure I gave her the money for the abortion pill. Matter of fact, I didn't give her the money for the abortion pill because I didn't have any money on me. I sent her the money like Western Union to get it. I sent her the money Western Union when I got back home because I didn't have no money on me and I was like, yo, I'm gonna send you some money when I get back to West. Yeah. No, I didn't. How did she get the money? I think I might have. Oh, we might have went back to the hotel and I went and got it for it. We might have went back to the hotel and I went and got it for it. Because I know whatever it was, I didn't have any money on me there after I shot the club up. So I was like, yo, let's go back to the hotel. And we got to the hotel. That's why I might have gave it to her to make sure she got it. Because I remember giving her the money for it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Uh, and mind you, again, I was trying to reach out to her to make sure it wasn't nothing like she didn't, have a kid and nothing like that for like at least 3-4 months, and she just never responded back. So, I mean, well, at least on tagged. What's going on, Miko Worldwide Enforcer? He said I like using Pro because I'll be raw dogging. Hey, listen, it's better to use it than not to. Um, Money Rich says that's interesting. Thanks, you got it. Is it a good thing they made that advancement? Yeah. Again, I didn't know about it. I didn't know. I've heard of it, but I didn't believe it. I thought it was BS. It wasn't until I mentioned it to my doctor. This is the reason why it's important to have insurance and why it's important to have a job that gives you insurance. Because I mentioned it to my doctor, like, yo, they were telling me about there's a pill where you could take it to prevent HIV, and it was like, it's like, yeah, there is. It's called Truvulia or something like that. I said, what? Like, it's a real thing? He's like, yeah, but it's not really for like men. It's for like men who sleep with men because it's more of a risk for men who sleep with men to catch HIV. But it can also work for men sleeping with women. And there are cases where guys who are in a relationship with somebody with HIV would keep taking that because every day because it works better for them to take that every day and they never catch AIDS or never catch HIV. And I was like, oh. So I looked more into it. The doctor expected more. We took all the blood work. He said, hey, you're okay. So I just went and got it. I still haven't used it yet because you can use it 2 different ways. The first way you use it is and again we did Jeep Talk already. So the first way you use it is you can take it every day. If you're sleeping with somebody who has or you're sexually acting like that every single day, and I'm not sexually acting every day, you can take it every day, or you could take 2 before you go on a trip, and then 1 every day of your trip, and then you continue 1 every day for 2 days after your trip. So that's how I'm going to do it. Like, I'll start taking mines on the 6th. I'll take 2 on the 6th of February. I'll take 1 every day until my trip is over, and I'll take 1 more for 2 more days, and then, I go get tested again to make sure I'm good, just in case something wild happens. But I really don't plan on sleeping with nothing raw until I figure out what the Jamaican Colombian woman wants to do as far as building a legacy. That's a whole nother conversation, y'all. Because again, I really am trying not to. And if you guys know, you guys will know. And I'll talk to you guys because I don't mind. We got some time. I'm really trying not to have a kid with Lily, but man, it's hard because I've known her since the first time I was in Medellin, and she's never asked me for money for something for herself. Like, has she asked me for money as far as like for something for a kid? Yeah. Would I give it to her? Yeah, because she's never asked me for money to hang out for anything else. So it's like to know somebody for that long, from 2021, my fault, to 2021, yeah, 2021 to 2026, and she's never really asked for money, and she come and hang out and stuff and been on camera. It's kind of hard, but she do got a kid, so it's like, you know what I mean. But I'd rather, and I connect more with the Jamaican Colombian a little bit, but her lifestyle. So again, y'all, it's a whole another story. Let me see. Just Vine said, I'm here just listening. Salute. Again, I had some time today. We got the conversation out about entertainer versus educator. And so I figure I'll answer y'all comments later, and then we'll get out of here. Let me see. It's a good thing, or yeah. Hey, what's going on, Morris? What's good, bro? Where you at the moment? I'm at home. I just got back from work. I'll be home. My next trip will be my next trip will be to Barranquilla in February, and it's on the 7th. And then March, I don't think I'm going anywhere. And in April, when my son goes to on his mother's for Easter vacation, I'm going to go somewhere else. And in May, we're going to on May, during the holidays, we're going to Cuba. Me and homie Kings and Dreams are going to Cuba. Now I'm hoping Cuba's not too messed up by then. Shout out to Keenan Lambert. He's in Cuba right now, so I know you can still move around a little bit. So we're going to Cuba in May, and Cuba has a festival called Founders Day Festival. I went there 2 years ago. I went there. It's during May. It's the weekend of May 1st through 5th. It happens on May 1st, but Founders Day is on May 1st. But they celebrated the weekend that's either closer to the 1st. So I'm going down there on that weekend of the 1st, and I'm coming back on the 5th of May, and that'll be there. And then that'll be what? That's May, and in June I probably won't go anywhere. Maybe Puerto Rico, I don't know. And then when my son leaves to his mother house in June after his birthday, in July I'll probably go somewhere, and like just somewhere like local I can use my Fly Frontier pass on. And then in August, we back in Cali, Colombia. So that's again I'm gonna be going to Colombia often from now on. I don't. The only other place I really want to go is Thailand, but I'm just waiting to see if I get this money to buy this place first in Colombia before I book a trip for Thailand. Once I'm solidified that I'll have the money for the place in Colombia, then I'll book my trip. So Thailand could be this year, towards the end of the year. I could go to Thailand and maybe in November, or I could go to Thailand early 2027. So that's all depending on what happens with the money for getting this place in Colombia. Oh my God, Lay's Cooler, VIP, Lay's LA VIP, best spot for action in Dominican Republic, Suez Wash, Puerto Plata. I mean, some people would say Santo Domingo, but Santo Domingo is going to be less touristic and more local, and I don't know how everybody is with the locals for the first time. So if not Puerto Plata, Santo Domingo. You can also go to Punta Cana, but you're going to need a lot more money. So that's how I say it. Santa Marta, Puerto Plata, Santo Domingo, or Punta Cana. Yeah, he's wilding. Mr. Poke is yes, it's the only thing it prevents. Again, that's why I said I don't suggest going raw like that, because you don't want to catch the herp, you don't want to catch syphilis or anything like that. But the reason why I point out HIV is because aside from the herp, it's the only thing that's not curable, and it's something that will affect you for the rest of your life. Herp will affect you, but HIV will affect you in a larger amount, because the stigma around it is just so, like, crazy. But so that's why I said I was more, again. And plus I'm a dad, so I'm too much risk. Let's see. No, it takes 30 days to start working. That's not true. So take it 30 days before the trip. That's not true. PR, that's not true. When I tell you stuff, I'm telling you stuff exactly from my doctor. That's not how it works. We go on first use kind of man, Fly Boy getting a hair trim. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, if she moves right, you got support. Yeah, I'm just trying to get to all your comments before I leave out of here. Let me see. I'm gonna look for the Cuba videos. Definitely. Yeah, I definitely got a guide for Cuba. I mean, the thing about my guides is they're evergreen content, meaning you can use a guide at any time, and from now to the end of the world, you can use it. The only thing that's going to change is the price and the names of the places. The location can't change. Like, Cuba's not going to move somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Now, the regime may change and things may open up more, but still, the geographic areas where I say this is where you need to go, is most likely going to be like the same place where you need to go. Like, if you'd have said 20 years ago, Parque Years is where you should go in Medellin, it wouldn't have changed from today. If you just say the clock tower is where you go from, and the stuff like that don't change. That's why I try to tailor the guides that I make, the Black Man's Guides, to be evergreen content to work at any time you're using them. The only one that is not evergreen is Brazil. And it's because Brazil was the first one I made, and I didn't make it as quality as all the rest of my guides because I was just learning how to organize the process. But after Brazil, the first Cuba guide was fly, Barranquilla guide was fly. They're still evergreen content. But the Brazil one, I probably would have to do an update on Brazil if I really wanted to get to it. But there's so many people in Brazil right now, I don't feel like I need to do it. Thailand as well. Even though I still want to go to Thailand, I just don't feel like I need to do it because there's so many people giving you information in these places. What's the prices looking like in Colombia? It depends what part of Colombia you in. Cartagena gonna be different from Medellin. Medellin gonna be different from Bucaramanga. Bucaramanga is gonna be different from Bogota. Bogota gonna be different from Calais, and Cali is definitely gonna be different from Barranquilla. Um, GS Tattoo, what up? What up? What up? What up? Took me a while to get away from Thailand, but I love that country. I can fully understand. There's a lot of changes going on right now in Thailand as well, but you gotta, you gotta. I still gotta make it there. Shout out to Zoom to Thailand. I still gotta make it to Thailand, but there are a lot of changes. And I always told you, we always had that talk with Zoom. I say, yo, Zoom, Colombia is gonna end up being better than. Is gonna still end up being better than Thailand when it comes to long-term living, because there's gonna be a lot of changes. And why did I say there's gonna be a lot of changes? Because Thailand is in Asia and it's closer to China, and China is very authoritarian, and it'll end up changing the places around from them. Um, Cuba, each one teach one. Big facts. Um, who else is ready for the cure and all tablet? They wouldn't do that. It's too profitable to make a all-in-one cure. Nah, no. All right, let's last. Very true. Okay, last one. Man, many of these guys haven't seen the doctor since they came out there. Listen, it's all good. Nobody has to listen. You just got to make sure you say it, because unfortunately, there will be somebody that does listen, and it might help them before it's too late. But I appreciate you guys for this live. This was a Jeep Talk episode 70. I can't believe we're at 70 episodes. I can't wait till we reach 100 Jeep Talks, when I can be like, damn, I can't believe we was at the first one. Now we had 100. But we had Jeep Talk episode 70. The difference between an entertainer and an educator, and understanding that both is needed, but they're going to always clash, because the purpose of both is going to be completely different. One just wants the attention no matter at any cost. The other one wants to educate you even though it may be boring. So you just got to blend the two. Like Telemay Dreams would say, pause, chew the meat and spit out the bones. Basically take from which side you need to take from to create whatever life you want to create. I'm a firm believer in balance. I think the main key of life is balance. You got to have a little entertainment, but you also got to have a little education. My balance is a little higher trying to educate people, because I know entertainment has not put us in a better predicament. So, but I appreciate everybody joining the live. It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWTY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel, and I'll see you on the next Jeep Talk. Peace.